let me play one of these. All right. All right. Hold on, guys. All right. Hold on. Hold on, Eric. 1 second here. I got to pull it over. Let me just do this.
So anyway, when I was talking to the kids, basically that's the way we sold them. So we told them to go to people's houses and say, we're selling a gold card except it's on your mobile phone. Show them the sheet that has some of the deals. These are some of the deals that are on there. And can you please help us out? So it's the same type of sale. We had about 40 kids participating in this, the one program. It's a basketball program, and they sold about 450 of these. So the basketball program made $4,500 because it sells for $20. The school got 10, and then that's what we took. And then I'll show you, Brad will show you in just a minute after we see some of the feedback from the kids, how that breaks down for us on our end, the money side.
Can you hear that?
Is that not working there?
Can you see it?
Yeah, but it's kind of messed up. I can't hear the audio.
Okay. What we'll do, guys, is we'll go ahead. We've got a coach, Eric, which was awesome, Eric. We've got multiple interviews from the kid, and we've got a couple interviews, I think, from the coaches. So we'll send that out in an attachment, guys, so you guys can see all that and just go through that whole entire process and look what everybody was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and, the kids were saying that it's, that kid in particular, I think had come back and he had sold 20 or 25. There were kids that went out and sold, 5 or 10 on the. It worked. My point is, it worked like any other product that we've had, except for it had a little bit of a cool factor with the kids that were participating, where they understood it. And then my next concern was, would people understand it? And they said that people did understand it when they explained to them how it worked. So what we did was 3 things for the kids. We gave them 20 of the products that we printed in hand. We gave them a sheet that had the deals in that town. And then we gave them a access to the mobile app for a limited time, so that they could actually show what it looks like on their phone. So those are the 3 things that we did for kids that really helped, with the sale. And a lot of them were showing their phone, and they said that actually helped, using a test, code to get into the mobile app. That's the program in a nutshell. Brad, you got the numbers, how that broke down?
Yeah, so here, I'll put these on here.
There's actually 40 kids in the program, not 60.
Oh.
And they sold 450, 163 registered, which is a 36% conversion rate. So that should give you guys some idea of people that are buying product from us, how much, a gold card or ticket, how much is actually getting redeemed. The money earned, the basketball program made around $4,500 because $9,000 came in. We had prizes. We had about $500 in prizes. And then rewards cost is $275. So when somebody goes on and registers the card, we pay rewards $2.75. So if you break down the total of the whole program, I brought home $3,800, which was a pretty good deal for not having had done any merchant work. These were merchants that were already signed that we had just from the gold card merchants. And it's a product that can be a go-to product in your garage that you mass order them, and then when somebody calls up or you solicit a program to do it, you can use that as a go-to product rather than maybe a cookie dough or a popcorn or whatever. Because the per dollar per card is pretty good on this. Anything I leave out, Brad, we talked about?
No, I think, honestly, guys, I think that's, if you break those things down in relationship to that entire deal, having that, that program at 60, at 40 kids and a card. Eric, would you sell this for $20 moving forward? Or would you?
That's a good question. David Wright and Scotty Hand and Michael Bronstein had a couple other guys on the Northwest had a meeting just after this, and since the fact that we're selling this mobile app, and in most cases, if guys have done their merchants the right way, you'll have 100, 200, maybe 300 mobile merchants within a certain mile radius. What's worth more than $20 because we can only put 20 deals on the gold card that we're selling for $20. So a lot of guys are talking about going to $25 on this product, and that would help cover the cost when people register, to rewards and so on and so forth. Also, Brad, I don't know if you mentioned about that, but doesn't some of that $275 go into the CMA network?
Yeah, I mean, so guys, out of the 25 cents of that's going to go right back into CMA on every single product that's sold. So as you guys are looking at those costs, and now I'm going to break this down, and I'm going to walk you guys through the entire program and how you set it up, and we'll have more training on this, but just to kind of give you guys the broad stroke of it. But it's a pretty simple deal, and I think, Eric, as you looked at this and comparing this with some other programs, if you had another team that had 40 kids, it's not one of your peak programs, whether you're selling cookie dough or some of the other stuff, because of the breakage. Because, guys, Eric sold 450 cards, all right? You're only going to pay for the cards for those codes that are registered, and that's it. You're going to pay us based upon the codes that are registered, and that's how that whole program works. So I think if you break this whole thing down, you're kind of looking at around almost, out of the $10, if you guys split it 50-50, I think it's pretty close to $8 you made on that entire deal, Eric. Is that pretty close?
Yeah, and then the other thing is the printing cost. We can get those down. I'm not going to talk some.
Eric, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, there you go.
I'm not going to talk about the cost of the printing costs here, but we can mass print these across the country because it just needs to be something that's generic, not school specific, that we can get a great deal on, and it would be comparable to any of the other printed products that we do. The other thing too, Brad, before we finish the segment is the success of this. Now, I also had another team that was 20 kids. They sold about 100. It was a weak coach. They still averaged 5. I thought, for the coach that I had, that was a decent sale for 20 kids to sell 100. They made $1,000, and he was just tickled. And in that town, we actually had around 65 deals within a 15, 25 mile radius. So that was pretty decent from the deals that we had from the card. But what it got me thinking was, we had a couple sessions at the meeting on a $25 card where guys were looking at moving their tickets and their cards to $25. Well, for me, I was a little hesitant to do that, but something like this where I can offer the mobile app for free, and this is a whole nother conversation, another call. I just kind of want to plant the seed to let you guys know what I'm thinking, is I can now sell my gold card for $25, give away the mobile app for free, and then count on the breakage to help me get some margin back, I guess, from schools. Because if you're like me, a lot of you, you're giving the best deal you can to the school, but elite's still calling and giving $16, $18, and this way we're kind of lock in the coaches with coaches moving, technology's moving this way. It justifies us bumping to a $5 price, and giving the coach, $1.50 or $2 or $5, just saying we have to pay for the technology, and you could just add that onto your regular splits, and that's a whole nother, whole nother conversation, whole nother deal. But I know in talking to some guys, there's guys that are the trailblazers, and they went out and they made the same product without really enhancing or doing anything different, raised it $5, and they're doing great. For me, this gave me a solid reason to do that, and even be able to get back some of the margins from the schools.
Eric, I think that's obviously, guys. We'll have another conversation, just kind of some thought processes for the fall. But I think as I've talked with Eric and some of the other board and some of you guys directly, the reality that I think is competition increases, correct? And you guys have incredible relationships, and here's a coach today that he can go out there and do his own cards, and you guys have experienced that. One of the things that you really realize is that a coach is not going to go out there and create a mobile app. Okay, he's not going to go out there and do that. So when you can lock in this entire mobile aspect, you're kind of locking in that business for a long time, because for the coach to go out and print out the card and go get 20 deals locally, that's an easier process to do. But to go build technology and create usability and all that, I think, guys, this is going to be a huge opportunity for us to move forward with some of those people, some of you that want to increase your card sales and kind of move into a different dynamic. So we'll be excited to share more of that and how that works as we move forward. Guys, if you got questions on that, please let me know, so Eric and I can address that. But here's what we'd like to be able to do right now. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this. I'm going to pull up a website, and I'm going to show you for this deal. Here's a question that just came in really quick. How long does a customer have to access the mobile app after registering the card with rewards? The truth is, guys, I don't know if we really thought through that. The reality, kind of what we've just seen from those two examples of Eric's here, most people have registered within the first couple weeks. I don't think we've seen any increase registrations in the last 2 weeks, but technically, it's based upon you guys. Let's be honest. All right. So, however you've set this process up, that code's going to be good, and it can be good for a period of time that you kind of control. And so that's something that that's a great point. So we just need to talk through that and what that looks like from your guys' end. I think it gives you a good example of honestly, you think about it. Here's Eric. You went out there, and these kids are selling this mobile. There's not one value that they can take that piece of paper and do anything with it. Zero. And only 36% of those people are actually registering their card. So it gets to this point, guys, of telling you, whether you're selling tickets or any of this other stuff, do people use the product? And I think what the key to this whole thing is, you guys have mastered the power of getting kids to go out there and be your sales force to generate this. And I think it's unbelievable how successful you guys are. And I think that's the key to your success. One of the big things is you and the program that you bring. But it's obvious, man, if only 36% of the people are activating, it just doesn't have a whole lot to say about, hey, you could be selling, ice, and people will still buy. I think that's the power of it. So just to give you guys a good perspective of that. For every one of you guys, let me just walk you through how the program works. You log into your back office. There's a new thing that says batch campaigns, okay? Batch campaigns. So you click on the batch campaigns. What this does is it shows you and for you guys, I'm showing you kind of Eric's, what this looks like, but you go into the very first thing, and I'll show you what it looks like to create a batch campaign. So first thing you do is you come in, and you click on the create batch codes, okay? So one of the things you'll do is you'll come in here, and you'll go, well, this is for my spring sales, okay? You'll notice that there's a maximum codes that you can generate, okay? 1,000, 5,000, whatever you guys want to do. But like Eric, he went out and printed up 2,500 products, pieces that have unique codes to these, all right? And we're going to walk you guys through the whole process. But this is step number one. How do you do this, all right? So imagine I come through here. I say I want to create 5,000 codes. The system tells you to put in your email, all right? So I can have this happen. I put in my codes. Awesome. Okay. Here's one of the things that we did because David Nelson's doing a couple different things. He's actually creating his product to be a $40 product. It's $20, and then it's only good for 6 months. And so we built a bunch of new technology to allow you guys an ability to maybe go run a program for a short period of time. And I look at this month sale, not to say you guys would do it, but we just put in some options that would allow you guys on a certain batch to create a different model that says these particular codes that you batch in here are going to be what? They're just going to be tied directly to the length of that membership that you do. So for most of you guys, you'll do the 12 months, okay? The next thing you do, what we do is we tie in every one of your nonprofits to this whole entire thing. So these are all Eric schools, all right? So the very first thing you do, okay? Next thing you do is you're going to come down here to the batch billing. You're going to be charged $2.75 for every code that is activated. Your credit card will be charged each time the code is activated. And literally what we do, guys, is have you guys put in your credit card information that you want. And the way that we bill you guys is every 2 weeks from the day you guys kick this thing off. Okay, so that's kind of it. So if 50 codes registered, great. We're going to charge you 50 times the 275. Another 2 weeks goes by. Guess what? You register, another 20 codes register. We're going to bill you for that. So that's how these codes will be activated based upon a billing that you guys are currently engaged in. So let's walk you through what this. So here's Eric's first batch that we went in. There's a total of 2,500 codes that we did. You can see he went in here and he chose Brighton basketball, Canton wrestling. His credit card was on file. And here's the codes that we had. Activated codes, 197. There's 2,300 codes available for Eric. So what's very cool about the process, so Eric, when you went out and you gave the coach, here's all the cards, did you collect some cards back? And what's nice about that, guys, you just take the excess cards that you collected, and now you put them back in your warehouse and use those cards to go out and distribute again. You want to speak to that at all, Eric?
Yeah, I was very, I was a little more particular in getting those cards back this time. So, but they did a good job, and I didn't have any issues with any of that. I had more issues with some of the guys that I've showed or given out the cards to, like other refs. They've all used the access code, and so I guess some guys owe me $2.75 is what I'm saying.
There you go. Make sure you collect that, man. All right, so you guys can kind of see here, right? There's 195 codes, that technically are payments. So here's the ones that are activated, the paid codes. What ends up happening, you go right through here, and Eric can go, well, I'm going to go check out Brighton basketball, and sure enough, here's the codes that the system generated. Here's the people, and then ultimately, those people would be able to, Eric would be able to go into Brighton basketball and find those users right there inside there. Okay, so kind of give you guys an idea of what that looks like and how you do it. All right. Now I'm going to show you guys an example. So now every one of you guys have had a chance. You saw here's the product that Eric had. Okay. So here's the front of it. Okay. Here's the back of it, and sure enough, they literally go there and you'll see that mobilegoldcard.com. As soon as they click that, they're going right here to the mobile gold card. Okay. The first thing you're going to see is an activation code. So I've got a different activation code here. I'm going to put in here just to show you guys. Eric, I'm sorry, this is going to cost you $2.75, but don't worry about it. I'm just messing with you. 36D. Okay. So what's going to happen? Thank you for supporting us. You guys can see here at the bottom all the different stuff that are here. Okay. And I'm going to activate the card. Okay. First thing you're going to see. First thing, you know what? This is actually a demo code. First thing you're going to see is make an impact. Choose a cause to support. So if I was to use an active code from Eric, he selected 2 schools. Okay? He selected, and let's go back here just so you guys can see this. He selected Brighton basketball and Canton wrestling right here. Okay? And so what happens, guys, if we're using real codes, as soon as this happens, the 2 schools are going to show up right here. Canton and Brighton. And so what the consumer does, obviously I'm out there selling for Brighton School, that consumer is now going to click on the Brighton app, and that's exactly what that's going to look like. So they click the Brighton, and they move forward. Okay. If they're part of Canton, they're going to move part of Canton. What ends up happening, okay, just to give you guys a perspective, all right, Eric's managing these 2,500 codes, and he launched the first 2 codes with these particular schools. Well, now all of a sudden, a month later, what he's going to do is going to go in and go, well, I'm going to kick off Salem football, and I'm going to do Quincy. Okay? So what happens, he just went back into those existing codes and said, listen, there's basically 2,300 left. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add on these 2 new schools that I just started with. These have already gone. Okay? So guess what? Technically, Eric could come in here and he can unselect the Brighton and the Canton 100% because he's given enough time for that. Let's say one of those people bought a card and it took him 3 months to activate. Okay, and that might speak to the way we need to put on these cards is you guys are controlling this, and maybe on the card you guys put it on an expiration date. Again, we want to keep this free flowing as much as possible, but you know, there was a great question asked about the expiration, how long the membership lasts. Again, that might be something we look at, guys. You put it on your printed product. Hey, registration, you know, must, you know, you got 1 year membership expires on this, whatever you guys do. So we got a little bit more work to probably talk through a little bit of that. But ultimately, I can come.
The question was, you know, does their 1 year start when they register it?
That is the case. It's 1 year from the date they register, Eric, from us.
So on the particular product that I put together, we didn't have any expiration date. So, you know, I've still got, you know, 1,500 of these that I plan to sell, and you know, I can take as much or a little time to sell those without printing, you know, negatives, I guess is the.
Yeah, we're really trying, guys, to help you not waste any of your product, your print product. All right, so you guys are getting it back. Again, I can deselect and basically go back and do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna. I don't want to screw anything up for Eric's current sales, but I'm gonna go back here to Falls Rewards. Make an impact, and you can see here, guys, what we did. Here's what the person does. So they enter their activation code. I literally come in here, Brad. All right, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to make it really fast. All right. And all right, I'm going to agree to terms and conditions, and boom. Now what happens, okay, as you guys can see, the customer's still on here. Congratulations on registering your mobile cold card membership, okay. Make sure you download the mobile app, get your certificate, and move forward, okay. Now what's going to happen is now an email goes right out to the customer, because we're not using a school-specific URL. So everything is branded to the mobile gold card. So gold card, did I just do this? Let me see here. No, I don't have to. What did I just do? Do you guys remember what my gold card 1, 2, what was it? All right, guys, I have to look at my darn email to see what my past username was because I just didn't even pay attention to it. Here, I'm going to do this. BR. All right, Eric, you remember what your password is for that?
Brighton Sullivan O.
That's, how about that? How about that one? There we go. So guys, what happens as soon as I go into, so I go to the mobile gold card, I register, I put my information in, and systems, email goes directly out to them. At the end of the day, they're instructed with their username, they're instructed to go back to the mobile gold card, and that's how they access their benefits every single time. And what ends up happening is I go right back in here into Brighton. When they log in the next time, they're right here on Brighton Basketball. Okay, so we're still branding the school, we're still promoting the school, all right? But the gateway, so to speak, is the mobile gold card. That's how we're getting everybody back through that model as we move forward. So again,
we have a question. We have a question in. Scotty Hand says, what happens when you register the batch codes to a specific school or team but then sell them with a different team 4 hours away? Is it going to give you the money to the first school you registered?
Yeah, so the reality, guys, is the money is going to go directly to the school that's promoted on there. So as you guys are managing your portal, just like Eric's back in here, and he's managing this entire deal, okay? He's right here in Brighton. Awesome. In Canton, guess what? Those are the only 2 programs that are going to be promoted at that time. If Eric's got 5 schools show up. So the kid, when he's selling that, is going to go, hey, make sure you register under Brighton, okay? And again, this is something you guys can control. I can literally come back in here, but if that person chooses Brighton, guess what? The $10, or I should say that member is going to be coded to Brighton. If the person chose Canton, that member is now coded to Canton. Guys, the truth is you're not going to be 100% accurate, correct? If there's 5 programs running at the exact same time, for the most part, probably in the neighborhood of 90% or more, most of the members are going to register specifically to the school that kid was selling from, okay? The other 10%, guess what? They might lose some members, and they might pick up some members from the other one, so it's probably going to be a wash when it's all said and done, but that's ultimately how that would be communicated and registered, okay? So again, that's ultimately what they're doing. We're still branding the particular school as they do that and kind of come back in from that entire process, okay? So guys, we've got built a system that I think allows you guys a ton of flexibility to come in here, to set up your programs, to manage those programs actively, literally by choosing the school you want to, not choosing the school. You guys control your print product. The system gives you guys the codes, and those codes get printed on the product that you have. And now it's just a matter of you guys controlling your product, using it for the specific school, turn it on, turn it off, put all the control back into your guys' hands as we move forward from that entire dynamic. The one thing I'll just show you, going back here to Brighton, the one thing you're going to notice is when I go into the shop local, the shop local now changed. All right, the shop local no longer has all the categories. We're not using Access. Okay, these are only going to be CMA deals and CMA deals only. So the power, guys, of us building out the CMA network, it just gets supercharged here. If we have reps that are using this product, they're putting their 15, 20 merchants in. Eric's got 1,000 merchants, 300 of them are mobile. As those offers get more and more mobile, it becomes a greater and greater value, guys, as we add more and more merchants to it. But this is exactly how it look. We're not dividing everything into categories. I literally simply put in the category and it shows the mobile apps and it works the exact same thing. If they log into their mobile phone, the same process works. There's only one category. It's all the merchants that we display in there that show up through the geolocation as a result of that. Okay, you guys can kind of see that how that's being done. You know, we've done the mobile gold card URL, just like you guys can see here. Mobile goldcard.com. You know, and you guys can see this is the one we've built. We went ahead and just give you guys a perspective. David Nelson is doing something a little different. We built him a completely different web page for his. So he went out and branded a brand that he's going to be taking throughout South Dakota for his program. Okay, so he's branding a complete Falls Rewards. He's got some different verbiage throughout the process. So he's done a couple different things as we've gone through this entire process. Again, guys, for the most part, this is going to be the standard website that we use. If you guys want us to build something unique from a landing page that ties directly into your area, we'll do that. There'll be a custom charge depending on what that cost is, just for the programming time to change out images and all that good stuff. But that's something we feel like, guys, most of you can come in here tomorrow if you got mobile gold cards and literally launch that entire process. You could go right to your CMA network, log in, and just do the search, and it'll tell you how many mobile gold cards you currently have. And I know that's something, guys, that we're gonna do some more training for you, some more webinars that we'll have for those of you that you know, want to get re-educated on the CMA process and how do you find this out and how do you renew all your tickets and so forth. So we'll have another webinar probably next week that we'll just throw out there. If you guys want to jump on, feel free, but that'll walk you through how to get the CMA
Brad, we have
network.
another good question here.
Sure.
From Brian Cook. He asked, consumer becomes a gold member, so do they receive a renewal email for the next year?
Yeah, great question. So Brian, that's exactly it. So at the end of next year, you know, I'll log back in, and you guys can see here. Here's my mobile gold card. I go right into my account. Sorry, guys, I logged myself out here. Here, let me log in. But the answer is absolutely yes.
And so, Brad, even what I mentioned before, if guys go to the $25 football card, giving away the free mobile app or the free mobile merchants, would the same question apply?
What's going to happen next year, guys, is the renewal will be tied to the gold card price that we're selling on rewards. Okay, so here's the email when I just went in there. Okay, this is the welcome email that they get. Okay, so I come in here. Let me just log in back here. So I'm going to go my login. Okay, I bought my membership. Okay, I go into my account here. Okay, and my gold membership, and you guys can see here. This was set up, guys, on that demo code. This was set up for a 6-month renewal process. So what's going to happen in that particular month? Okay, we'll have the membership be tied to the price for that particular deal. So in the case of us doing this, guys, on that gold card, it will be based upon, those particular codes will be based upon the $20 or based upon a $25 or based upon a $30, however you guys have set that up. So that's something we program in the back end to be able to do that. All right. So does that give you guys that's a good question. So the renewal will go out. So for David Nelson, for example, we're going to renew this, okay, right away. You know, so a month before this thing expires for him in 6 months, this will turn around and it'll program him to renew his specific gold membership at that $20 price point for him for another 6 months. All right. Any other questions that came out of that? Eric, do you see any more?
I think that's it.
Okay. So guys, I think the biggest things that we want to just kind of update you. I know we have many of you that are going to be running this program. We're excited to work with you specifically. If there's interest for you guys to run this program, then we'd love to get in touch with you personally and walk you guys. So you can email me, Brad at Simply Rewards, or Paul at Simply Rewards. Probably hold off on Paul right now for this week. But realistically, if you're interested in running this program, I know we've got, Nelson's running this. I know Bill Hogue is running this. David Wright, Bronstein. So everybody's kind of doing their own thing and how they're going to, look at the artwork and so forth. But I think we're going to have some great examples. And I think what we've seen with Eric kind of pioneering this, him and David, is Eric had tremendous success. I think when you watch the videos from the school, from the kids, and from the coaches, I think you guys are going to absolutely be encouraged. It's a pretty easy process. Eric, from your standpoint, was it very similar to the way you run your normal programs? It wasn't a huge shift for you, was it?
No, we didn't. We didn't really do anything different. Split the kids into teams and gave kids the tools they needed. The thing that was exciting for me is that it just had a little bit of a cool factor with the kids, which was, most of the time they're not real excited, but this one was different from that perspective.
Awesome. All right, guys, we just wanted to thank everybody for jumping on the call today. If you've got any other questions or feedback, man, let us know. We'd love to help on this program. Again, if you're thinking about running 365, just send us an email. We'd love to make sure you're not having any challenges with that, but we'd like to get those programs, help you get those things launched. And guys, we'll continue to be expecting an email from me probably first thing later today or first thing tomorrow with a recap of just some of the stuff we went through with some of those videos that are attached. And guys, we appreciate everyone being on the call and honestly look forward to 2015 with you. Eric, any final comments on your end?
No, Brad, just thanks for all you guys are doing to try to help us enhance our business. Really appreciate it.
Awesome, guys. Well, listen, we appreciate it, and hope everyone has a fantastic day. Thanks, guys.